Cod, a biography of the fish that changed the world by Mark Kalansky, tells the story of cod, the previously thought to be indestructible fish. Cod is an omnivorous and strong whitefish that used to rule the oceans. By 1620, cod fishing had become a major profit in international trade. Unfortunately, because of its strong demeanor and plentiful population, many people believed cod to be immune to human activity. Destructive technological advances such as bottom draggers overfished cod. Today, cod fisheries are disappearing. Fishermen are forced to fish other species that were once used to bait cod, such as herring and rockfish. With cod fishing becoming increasingly more competitive, international treaties extended exclusionary zones to 200 miles. International fishing is forbidden within these boundaries. Reading this book in class inspired me to research the local fishing environment in the Pacific Northwest. I wondered if these restrictions and limits placed on fishing had improved the local waters. In order to get a more hands-on approach to my research, I sought out my two friends, Eric and Tyler, who both have substantial fishing experience from working on salmon boats in Alaska during the summer. They agreed to take me out on their boat to fish for lingcod, a member of the Pacific reeling family. Though not closely related to cod, the name lingcod originated because it somewhat resembles that fish with its white flaky flesh. Lingcod can grow to weigh over 80 pounds and are characterized by their large mouth with 18 teeth and speckled grayish-brown skin. On Sunday morning, we set out at the ripe time of 6 a.m. to tackle these massive creatures. We began our day by fishing for bait such as herring. Herring are little tiny fish that often move in large schools around fishing banks. Once you catch the bait, you must reel up the line and detach the fish from the hook and store the fish in a bucket of water to use for later. After catching herring, our hands were covered in its shiny, translucent scales. This is Wayne, Tyler's neighbor. He agreed to be our fishing guide for the day, although he usually does a different type of fishing.
I free dive, so I hold my breath and do this breath hold diving, and I'll try to keep it my dives for under 2 minutes. Having a minute of actual hunting time, it seems like it's not very much time, and it's not very much time. You always wish you had more, but it's typically enough time for me to either spot, spear, and bring a fish up to the surface and have a little bit of reserve air also.
Thanks to Wayne, we were given expert tips about the best fishing spots, and so we sent out to Strawberry Island, located just east of Deception Pass.
Nice Titanic.
Once we reached our fishing spot, we attached larger, more substantial hooks through the upper lip of our bait.
Right up through his nose like that?
Yeah.
And he's going to stay on there. And then when you lower him down, go kind of slow, take it slow, you know, I mean, you got him on there. So
Eric was the first to try his luck with lingcod.
you got to make sure you got both hands on there, because when a lingcod hits,
It hits hard.
yeah, it hits really hard. You got something, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, are you kidding me?
Unfortunately, it was just seaweed. Next, it was my turn. I had definitely caught something, but I was a little too weak to reel it up myself.
Okay, look.
Cool!
About the most awkward way to catch a fish. It was like, oh, pass over the ski line, pass over this, do it.
Although it was awkward, I had successfully caught a greenling. We reeled the fish in and decided that in order to catch the infamous lingcod, we would use this larger fish as bait. We reattached the fish to the hook and threw it back in the water. Unfortunately, that was the last time we saw my greenling. Wayne had forgot to tie the line to the pole, and so the fish swam away. Luckily, we were all in good spirits and laughed about our silly mistake. On our way back to shore, I asked Wayne if he thought the restrictions placed on fishing had improved fishing with Puget Sound.
Especially for rockfish, all different types of rockfish that have been protected. That's totally cool.
Yeah, that was a big thing. We're learning about that in our class.
Yeah, and it was important too, because up in this area, especially in the San Juans, rockfish were being decimated. Vermilion, China rockfish, black rockfish, they were just being wiped out. There was no limit on them, on what you could take, so you could take as many as you want. So people were like, you know, taking 10, 15, you know, rockfish that literally, it's a fish that it needs 5 to 7 years to grow. You know, so you could imagine some person taking 10 or 15 of them in a day in a small bay area where there might be only a couple hundred.
Yeah.
You know? So it's you know.
But you think that the restrictions on fishing have improved the amount of fish?
Yeah, I think not the restrictions in equipment or technique, like barbless hook or anything like that. That's kind of a waste of time. But I think the restrictions on limits.
All in all, I had learned an immense amount on this short fishing trip, as well as received an answer to my research question: if the fishing environment had improved with the restrictions. The answer is yes, with the creation of limits.